Hi friends, this is Chantilly. I'm here with another East Coast road trip for you, and this time it's a winter getaway to Lake Placid, New York. We just went for a chill long weekend with some friends recently, and it was my husband's birthday. And on this trip, mainly, we just hung out and went to restaurants. It really is a great town for a relaxed, cozy vibe, and I'm going to show you everywhere where we ate and drank, so stick around if you're looking for some ideas for a trip to Lake Placid. So Lake Placid is a little ski village in the Adirondacks. It's hosted 2 Olympic Games in 1932 and 1980, and they even have a training center that is open to the public where athletes come to train to this day. Even though it's a little bit further of a drive than somewhere like the Catskills, it's still a favorite for New Yorkers who want to relax, be with nature, and do some winter sporting. So we checked into our Airbnb, and it was so cute, really cozy. The decor was just classic Adirondacks, like look at these bed frames, and you really just feel like you're in a cabin. I'll link the Airbnb below for you. Okay, so right after we checked in, we were hungry, right? So we went to Big Slide Brewery and Public House. Me and Matt have been here before on a previous trip, and we knew it was good, so we took our friends. I got a cider, and Matt and Rihanna decided to get this flight, which we somehow didn't realize was 10 beers, and a lot of those beers were IPAs. The struggle to get through this flight was real, but luckily, in the end, they made it. Even though I noticed that a lot of those beers, I feel like it wasn't really to their taste. I'm seeing a lot of interesting expressions when I'm watching them taste them. This isn't to say the beer wasn't good, I just think they're not used to IPAs. I also got a banh mi sandwich for dinner, and it was really good. It was maybe a little bit even too much food. It really filled me up, but it hit the spot. And after that, we just went back to the Airbnb and watched a little TV. The next day, Matt and Damon went snowshoeing at Avalanche Lake. This is a great trail if you're into snowshoeing, and even though I didn't go with them, Matt took some stunning pictures that I want to share with you in case you are interested in what it's like. Okay, so I don't really like being cold for hours, so I opted to stay back with Rihanna and have a nice lunch at the Cottage. This is a restaurant at Mirror Lake Inn, which is a luxury hotel across from the lake. Now, this is actually one of my favorite travel tips. If you're not staying at a luxury resort, you can usually just go there anyway for drinks or a meal or just to hang out. Anyway, you can totally dine inside a gondola here. They were full, otherwise I would have gone for it. This restaurant has a great view of Mirror Lake, which is the center of Lake Placid, and it seems like people like to come here after a day of skiing or snowshoeing. We got Shirley Temples because we were feeling just a little nostalgic, and they were a total throwback. This mushroom soup that I got with brie in a bread bowl, it was just calling to me. It felt like the perfect cozy meal for a cold day like this. So good. Rihanna got a salad, and I'm just going to show you a little bit more B-roll of this place just because I loved it a lot. So after our meal, we were on the deck and we saw this dog sled across on the other side of the lake. We decided to drive to the other side of the lake to see it. And the dog sleds are right near this toboggan ride, which looks really fun to do, but it wasn't operating when we were there because the ice was too thin. But from here, we did get a better viewpoint of the dog sleds. And after that, we just went back to the main part of town and just walked around for a little bit longer. The next day, I decided to have a little me time and went by myself to the Breakfast Club. This is another restaurant that's right on Mirror Lake, which you guessed it, specializes in breakfast and brunch. They close at 3, and I got there on the later side. There wasn't as many people around, so I got a table with a perfect lake view. The restaurant's pretty simple, but I had a cappuccino and eggs Benedict with avocado. It was all really good, and I got to enjoy this beautiful lake view while I dined. So tip, if you're looking to avoid crowds and get the lake views both here and at the Cottage, go towards closing time. We had some time in the afternoon and decided to take a quick drive to Saranac Lake. It's another cute town that's about 20 minutes away. It's less famous than Lake Placid, but people still come here for recreation and tourism and outdoor activities. Saranac Lake seems to be a little quieter than Lake Placid, maybe not as much going on, but the downtown area is definitely cute. There's some restaurants and bars. There's also some pretty houses. We were driving by and fantasizing about owning property in the Adirondacks someday. But either way, it's kind of a cool place to check out if you're up for a drive. So we got back to Lake Placid, and it was one of those things where we knew that if we went back to the Airbnb, we wouldn't leave. So we decided to just hang out in town before dinner. So we wandered over to the Marcy bar at the Grand Adirondack Hotel. I really liked the interior of this place, and we found a little corner to duck into. They serve craft cocktails, and I got a hot apple cider drink. I just thought it was a cozy choice. Cheers. So it's our last night in Lake Placid, and I wanted to go somewhere special. I had actually run into our Airbnb host earlier in the day, and he had recommended the Whiteface Lodge. And before our trip, I was reading all these blogs about things to do in Lake Placid, and this place kept coming up, so I was excited to go even just for a meal, and this is the drive up to the lodge. Whiteface Lodge is a luxury resort that is done in classic Adirondack style. Think grandiose, rustic, chunky logs and wood. So there's two restaurants at Whiteface Lodge. There's Canoe, which is a more upscale, more expensive restaurant. We went to their other restaurant, Peak 47. This one's a little more casual, a little less grandiose, and has a pub-style menu with burgers and fries. So here's another tip. There's two fireplaces here, and if you can snag seats by one, you can order drinks at the bar and enjoy them by the fire, which is what we did. It felt very après-ski, and it was a really fun, cozy moment to have with my friends and my husband. After about an hour by the fire, we decided to get a table and get some dinner. Basically, the menu is just burgers and sandwiches, but we expected that, and they were pretty good. I feel like you don't really come here for the food anyway. You come for the vibes, and the vibes definitely did not disappoint. It's our last morning in Lake Placid, and we decided to go back to the cottage one more time. It was on a weekday, late morning, a little less crowded this time, and we got a lakeside seat right away. I decided to get a hot chocolate, which I was dying for, and they really did it up with the whipped cream. It just felt so cozy to have my hot chocolate and be able to gaze out onto the frozen winter lake. Matt was also feeling the hearty winter vibes, so he got this soup, and I was dying for some greens, so I got a Brussels sprout salad. It was simple but tasty, and it was exactly what I needed. Okay, so that's our trip to Lake Placid. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having a good day, and don't forget to like and subscribe.